What's good, citizens of Outragistan? How the fuck we doing on a Wednesday morning? Just ticked over into the morning hours. Let's share out the live link on the Facebook. I'm feeling good, ladies and gentlemen. Had a long day of going to the gym, doing Postmates, come back and grubbing down on all this party food that got benevolently dropped upon me. My roommate went to some type of party and she brought back extravagant pans of barbecue chicken. What do you call it? Eggshell pasta, and I think you call it eggshell. It's shell pasta. I don't think you call it eggshell pasta. That's a little strange, but you know, gigantic pan of pasta there, and a big old tray of cupcakes and Rice Krispie treats, ladies and gentlemen. I've been digging down on that, getting swole up in the motherfucking gym, and walking around getting all fucking chesty on people, dude. Walking around with your chest out, you know, makes you feel good, dude. Walking around all pumped up with your carbohydrates and fueled up with testosterone, ladies and gentlemen. It's a good way to be. You got that toxic masculinity is just flowing right out of you, and it exudes, and everybody feels it. And I've had a good couple last couple night of sets at the fourth wall there. I've been doing 2 sets a night, putting the goddamn work in. Hope y'all enjoyed Mr. John Bailey last time on the podcast. I need to clip up some of the highlights of that and put it on Instagram. I love that motherfucker. He's just, I instantly, you know, was drawn to him when he came to the fourth wall because, you know, I don't know, there's something about the energy that I'm drawn to where, like, I'm attracted to people that don't hate themselves, I think is what it is. Because I don't know, there's a lot of self-destructiveness that goes on in the comedy community. And a lot of times it can be funny and that can lead to jokes, but, you know, I mean, punchlines that involve hanging yourself or hating yourself often do well at the fourth wall, and it's a little bit unsettling. I'm just kind of looking at everybody else like, y'all, damn, y'all really thought that was hilarious. It's like everybody's on the verge of suicide at the fourth wall, apparently. No, but you just get the vibe from John Bailey. People call him egotistical, people call him narcissistic or whatever. He doesn't hate himself. You know, he's trying to do good. He's trying to get better and do something and accomplish something. And that's the type of people I'm drawn to. What's up, Kashava? Mr. Send me obscure YouTube links all goddamn day long. You rascal. You conspiratorial rascal. The deep state is on to you. I've clued them in. No, but that's like, I don't know. I just don't trust people that hate themselves, because there's like unstable people that it's like he's unpredictable and untrustworthy. I love you, Kashava. Keep doing your goddamn thing. You know, you scared me the other day with the link that was showing Israel like doing military strikes on Iran, and it was supposedly about to kick off World War III. And if World War III happens, I at least want America to be, you know, involved. I want to be, you know, part of the party there. Can't have a World War III party and not invite the Americanos. What's the deal, dude? I mean, Trump's got the biggest nuclear button, um, and so he's going to let you know about it. All right, where he's got the biggest nuclear button, and that's pretty ballsy to make a nuclear war threat and a small dick joke in the same tweet that he did to Kim Jong Un. What's up, Proxnoid? He's getting on that red eye flight, baby. Red eye flying. Where you flying to, man? But yeah, that's why I'm not too keen on just hanging out with other white people in general. Oh, goddamn. You going to Tahiti? Ooh. Damn, dude. You gonna go sip a goddamn fruity cocktail? You gonna play some volleyball on the beach and shit and, end up meeting your, brown skinned soulmate there? Oh, shit. But yeah, there's entirely too many white people that have just been have bought into the propaganda narrative that they're supposed to hate themselves, and so they're totally fine with having their country bent over and letting everybody have their way with America and forgetting all the principles that founded it. But we here at Outragistan, we defend the Republic, despite the fact that we ultimately want the Republic to be dissolved and have a truly free society. For now, we'll settle for the goal of defending the Republic, ladies and gentlemen, until we can fully incorporate the non-aggression principle into the society there and get everyone on board with non-aggression and self-defense and self-ownership. But, if anybody watched the political show I went on, the Fourth Wall resident political show, Robbing the People, you know that people fiercely defend their own self-hatred and lack of self-ownership. It's a really touchy subject for people, and they don't want to admit that the government is selling them down the river. And it's hard to admit because they've been, conditioned from birth to think otherwise. And, an arrogant bastard up on stage telling them that they're wrong, it's a hard sell out here, ladies and gentlemen. But it doesn't make my dick any less hard to go up there and, call out the communists there. I may have, swayed a few hearts and minds. I wasn't getting the applause and the social approval. But after the show, a lot of people told me that they, liked a lot of the points I was saying. And, it's just not socially acceptable to not hate yourself, ladies and gentlemen. If you're white, you gotta feel in your heart that that's not all right. Aryans versus the world, but that's why I don't have any white pride, because white people don't have any in-group preference. Well, first of all, having pride in your ethnicity is dumb to begin with, because you didn't have a choice in it, and you're just born that way, and it's a roll of the dice. But there is a certain pride that can go along with, the principles that are instilled in your culture, which, have steadily been degraded upon here in the United States to the point where people are just willing to throw it all out the window so that they can get some social approval by saying that transgender people are normal. And this is the Yuri Bezmenov plan, and everything is going according to the plan, except for this channel here. And some select few patriots out there speaking the truth unapologetically. And I salute, if you haven't listened to the podcast between Dave Smith and Owen Benjamin on Dave Smith's Part of the Problem podcast. Fucking tremendous. I had to listen to it twice when I was riding around town today. So goddamn good. When those two guys' brains get together, it's just, fireworks of freedom. But yeah, people who hate themselves, I can't be around them because you can't trust them. They're self-destructive and they want to pull people down like crabs in a bucket. And so people like that hate success. They hate prosperity. They hate anything to do with actual progress, not the fake progress that the left tries to push, where it's progressive to chop your cock off, or it's progressive to, open your borders up to anybody who wants to come in. Real progress in terms of, speaking the truth, acquiring resources and therein. What are you saying, Kashava? He says, did you hear a Talmudist family got kicked off a plane for their smell? Yeah, I heard that on a podcast today. I heard they smell like cat litter. Does that smell the same as cat shit? I feel bad for the guy who got kicked off. He was clearly abused. Oh yeah, the Jew and the bear. Yeah, dude. They make a lot of good points about, the pitfalls of atheism. I definitely do not go, I can't logically go to where Owen Benjamin has gone, to embracing the, fake Jesus story about being a zombie and walking on water. Kind of conflicts with my empirical experience here on this planet we all call Earth. But I do recognize that a lot of atheists replace God with the state, and they become communists and, nihilists, and nothing matters, and we just, because Jesus didn't walk on water and he wasn't a zombie, we throw all the morals out the window and you do whatever you want, do what thou wilt, and we become Satanists at the snap of a finger. It's not exactly my style. I prefer, you got to have a little secular moral backbone there, ladies and gentlemen. And apparently that's a super complicated concept for many people, because it either seems to be tax the public at 70% or evangelical Christianity. It's like either or, like, do you believe God created the earth in 7 days in the Adam and Eve story, and Jesus was a zombie and walked on water and turned water into wine? Or do you believe that Joseph Stalin did nothing wrong? Pick one. And it's like, can we, I'm not usually for this whole middle ground thing, but just for the purposes of public discourse, can't we find some middle ground between straight up communism and, religious zealotry? It's just, human beings have that portion of their brain where they have to give their allegiance away to some external source of power, because it's like overwhelming for people to like realize that they're in control of their own destiny. The middle ground is the non-aggression principle. I agree. And it's so, that was the first thing I said in that debate. You can find it at Fourth Wall TV, all one word, YouTube. Spell out the word fourth. Fourth Wall TV at YouTube if you want to see me debate a leftist on libertarianism. And it got pretty fucking heated, ladies and gentlemen, because, we probably should have smoked a bowl before the debate, but instead we drank Bud Light and we got into it, bruh. So, but that was my opening statement, breaking down the non-aggression principle and how the government exempts themselves from the rules that should be universal, like murder. The governments allow themselves to murder people and they call it war. And like theft, the government exempts themselves from that and calls it taxation. and they looked at me like, you know, I had 3 dicks on my forehead after I said that. So I don't know how to break it down any simpler than that. Yeah, it was a fierce debate. Yes, that's the name of the title. That's probably the name of the video there. Yeah, I think it got posted on social media. That's what they titled it. Fierce debate, ladies and gentlemen. So hopefully I convinced a couple people with that shit, but you never know, because the opposing ideas to individualism and self-reliance are usually pretty feminine and pretty beta, and so having a strong backbone with your argument and getting it across in a very assertive manner generally turns people off to your argument, because they're like, why is he so angry? It's like, well, trying to save Western civilization here. you know just 2,000 years of genetic lineage here we're trying to preserve. So, debates tend to get heated when you're proposing a 70% tax on anybody who, makes over $10 million. It's like, don't try to provide anything useful for society and actually become wealthy, because then we gonna take all that money, baby. And nobody feels sorry for rich people, because it's all secularism and all like, they must be just in the lap of luxury because they've made $10 million in their life. A lot of those people are overworked and fucking miserable, and they don't have any time to actually enjoy their money because they're working 80 hours a week, and they got a family that they got to make sure doesn't go into catastrophe. And they probably got a feminist wife that's nagging them and working too, and then the kid gets raised in daycare and then rebels when they hit puberty, and it's a fucking clusterfuck disaster. But rich people just have no problems at all, and so we should never feel sorry for them, and we should never think of them as human beings, because they're a separate species because they have money, and we can just dehumanize them and put them in the concentration camp called 70% tax rate. Because don't forget, it's a human right to have access to white people's wallets, ladies and gentlemen. It's a human right. Okay? And that blew that guy's mind in that debate when I said I don't believe in rights. That blew his mind. For the typical atheist, secular leftist, rights are like the main thing they think about when they think about politics and philosophy. What are my rights? What am I owed by this government system that's stealing other people's money? Isn't that why they're stealing the money, and why we participate in the system at all? Is because we have this list of rights. And it's like, it's not about rights, it's about what is forbidden according to the moral system. That's all that matters. And positive rights, I mean, you're just making a claim that you have no stake to. I have a right to feminine reproductive health, and then like we have taxpayer funded abortions and birth control pills. Yes, there are only negative rights. Spot on the money, Proxenoid. Because, you can't compel people to do things and have it be moral. It doesn't pass the coma test, because a guy in a coma can't be evil. All right? If you're asleep and you're not contributing to the tax system that funds the abortion sacrifice of children, or the contraceptive revolution there, if you're not federally funding that, you Nazi bigot, okay? Even if you're in a coma. Sleeping, snoozing, Nazi bigot, homophobe. What's up, Moro? What's cracking on a Wednesday morning? Although I don't know where Moro is. He might be Russian or some shit. I don't even know what the time zones are. Although I can't lie, I'm not gonna lie to you people. I'm very conflicted. I'm very conflicted on abortion. I literally do not know where I stand on it morally. I do not know, and I'm not gonna lie to you people. Have participated in a couple Plan B pills and one of those bad boys there. Um, I mean, it's hard to classify yourself as a murderer, but you know there's some degree of complication when the kid is still in the womb there, in the body of the female. But I can't agree with, the New York thing that just passed where they're like, they legalized abortions up until birth. And so it's like literally a fully formed, alive human being in the tummy, and they fucking off it. That's like, sends chills up your fucking spine, dude. That's like a goddamn Freddy Krueger movie. It's like, dude, that's like the first time I watched Chucky. When I was a teenager, that fucked me up. That was the first horror movie that actually fucked me up. What's up, Kay Burgess? Was watching the Chucky movies with my older teenage cousins and shit. And I did not sleep facing away from my closet for the next 5 or so years. I had to be sleeping facing that closet just in case I woke just in time to see Chucky sneaking out of my closet trying to stab me in the face. All right? That's how the New York abortion law makes me feel deep inside. I get the shudders. But I don't think, I think how you solve it in a free society, I think you just solve it with a degree of ostracism. Like, I don't blame any people that straight up call it murder. You have a perfectly logically consistent argument there. It very well, I gotta respect that position if you call it murder. So you definitely have the right to, well, I don't want to get into saying the word right, but I feel like you should not be beholden, definitely, to fucking forcibly funding it through taxation. That's the fucked up thing that's obvious. And then after that, I don't think it should be necessarily, if we're going to have a government system, I don't think it should be illegal. But in a free society, I think it would just be handled by, some people would choose to, feel differently about it, and you would ostracize as you see fit. If you think it's murder and, you don't want to hang out with somebody who had it done, that should be your choice. But complicated moral issues there, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, once you have a kid, it all changes. I was doing a bit on stage tonight about how I want to be rich before I have kids or get married. But at the same time, I'm conflicted because I don't want to marry a gold digger. So it seems like I'm going to eventually have to try to negotiate a prenup situation with the woman I want to have kids with. Because I don't want to go out like Jeff Bezos, ladies and gentlemen. I don't want to have that all that hard work cut in half. And getting married without a prenup is like sticking your dick in a mouse trap. And and the woman's like, "Don't worry, it's not even loaded. It's a broken mouse trap. Just go ahead, just stick your dick right in there." And you're like, "Okay, honey, I trust you." And I just it's not even about women. It's Kashava, a prenup is a situation where you negotiate your money before you get married. So if she decides to divorce you, she doesn't immediately get alimony. Now I know in some parts of the country, like a prenup won't even save you from alimony, but It's at least something. You have a negotiation on paper to where if she just decides to up and leave you, she's not going to take half of your money or your kids and just run off. Um, but it's not even some anti-woman thing. Like, I don't trust just women. It's like I don't trust any human being with that amount of power over me that the family courts grant to women. It's just unbelievable. Just at the snap of your fingers, with no rhyme or reason, you can decide you're unsatisfied and flap off into the single life again, and just take half the dude's money with you, and he has to pay you for the rest of his life. And it's like, it's fucking brutal, dude. So I mean, you have to be careful with who you fucking marry. Yeah, I was just talking about the New York bill. That's super unsettling, dude. It's super fucking unsettling that anyone would even be, in favor of that shit. Like, people have just had those, regrets. Like, oh, I should have just killed my baby before I had it. Oh God. There are a lot of sodomites out there that have, childless relationships that would love to take on the task of raising that child there. And give the sodomites what they want. All right? They want a family too. And they have that right. But, there are situations like where you're just totally financially unstable. You're not with a woman you love, and it's just like gonna be a complete disaster. Honestly, you catch it early. I don't blame that position either. I see that position too. Oh shit! Clean talking in the motherfucking chat. We're just breaking down the intricacies of the morality of abortion here. So you just tuned in right at the right at the right time. I know you saw that dude on Hollywood Boulevard with the shit stain in his white jeans, trying to rap out on the sidewalk. He was spitting hot fire, only out of the wrong end there, bruh. He was. He told his homie, "Yo, check this shit out. I got that hot shit. I just hit the taco truck." For those who didn't see, check my Instagram. I saw a motherfucker with some dirty ass jeans trying to break off a rhyme on Hollywood Boulevard, and it was goddamn embarrassing for humanity, everybody. Man. I would almost rather see a homeless dude dick than that shit. I've seen plenty of homeless dude dick in Hollywood, but I've never seen doo-doo jeans rappers. Oh, dude. Fourth Wall was fun tonight, man. Fourth Wall was fun tonight. Cole Alexander, he embarrassed himself in front of a woman. It was super awkward and hilarious. Spence Griffith was he fucking killed it. Let's see. Kate Burgess says, abortion in the first trimester, I kind of get it, but once the baby can live on its own without you, third trimester, that's murder. I kind of, yeah. That's actually a good line. The hardcore like abortion is murder people always say there's no definitive line, but yeah, I think there is a time in there where the baby could theoretically be self-sufficient, and it doesn't technically need the mother to live anymore. It just hasn't fully been born yet. And I do think there's an ethical line in there somewhere that you can find. But I mean, some people's lives are just so chaotic, and the pregnancy is just so unplanned. I think I don't blame anybody for making that decision. I'm not going to call you a murderer for making that decision to not bring a baby into that, hectic situation. Because we've got enough gangbangers in the world as it is, ladies and gentlemen. We don't need any of these fucking single mom, uh, you know, kids growing up fucking idolizing gangster rappers and thinking it's cool to fucking, like Clean Talking was talking about yesterday. The talking about shooting up their friends on Facebook and fucking smoking them in a blunt. We got enough of them kids, all right? We got enough fucking crazy people in this world. We need people that are raised by two-parent households and you get some goddamn stability. And, you know, we need people raised by people who want to raise people, all right? And that goes for the super rich people, too, who are just working 80 fucking 90 hours a week and they ain't got no time to raise their motherfucking kids and they get pawned off on the nanny or the fucking daycare. And then you got psycho kids that way too. These fucking trust fund, you know, I've lived with a dude like that. It was a trust fund psycho, just totally addicted to cocaine and just a vanilla gorilla fucking psycho Viking, dude. He was an ex-football player, giant motherfucker, but he was like, you know, just his parents clearly didn't give a fuck about him when he was growing up, and they were just way too busy with their business, and that's not good either. So we need more people with committed parents to raise them. All right, Proxnoid, have a good flight, baby. Yeah, yeah, we need, you know, kids with both parents. That's how I think I've, you know, managed to stay sane in this fucking insane world. I almost went off the deep end into leftism and nihilism in my late teens there. But, you know, luckily I didn't get anybody pregnant and didn't get any DUIs. I didn't go to jail. And I was enough of a homebody fucking video game nerd to stay out of trouble and shit. And so, you know, I didn't cause too much of a goddamn ruckus. I do not believe in a soul. And Proxnoid says, unless you believe in a soul, and how early. That's probably the connection with the religious people that, like, the secularists are like, well, that baby technically can't survive outside the womb, so it's not necessarily a separate organism. And religious people see it as having a soul and being created by God, and so that's where it comes in that it's automatically murder every time. And if you look at it from more of a biological perspective and ability to survive and whatnot, then that's, you look at it a little different. Toasters don't make a good sex toy. Well, I know that you can, you know, I know that a nice toasted toaster strudel there makes a good fuck toy. You get right in there in that cream filling, dude. You gotta let it cool off a little bit, but then you get your American Pie on, dude, with that toaster strudel. That's that white trash American Pie party, okay? Dude, you ever had a toaster strudel? Dude, I had a fucking year of school. I would get up, my moms would make me breakfast and shit. I demanded the toaster strudel, man. That fucking toasted little pastry with the fucking and it comes with the pouch of filling and you fucking spread it on there, dude. Ooh, with that flaky crust. That'll get your morning started off right, and then you'd be hungry by 10 a.m. Because it's all carbohydrates. Don't make an analogy to come. That's straight up nostalgic pedophilia there, dude. I was a child. It was filling, all right? Oh shit. Insensitive motherfucker says everything has a soul. Plants, animals, and people. That's what makes us different from... your comments are getting cut off. I don't know what spacing you have, but I'm not seeing the fucking full comment there. But you say everything has a soul. That's an interesting perspective for a guy whose name insensitive motherfucker, now go fuck yourself. I think that's your name, which might be why your comments getting cut off, but insensitive motherfucker thinks everything has a soul. So, you know, he's crushing souls when he eats a salad, everybody. Until, you know, you can point out a soul on a CAT scan or an x-ray to me, I don't think it exists, bruh. I just think that human beings happen to have consciousness that we don't quite understand, but I do believe it is a product of our brains. We just got some extra special neurons up here firing. Nobody knows what the fuck happened. Maybe our ancestors ate some psychedelic mushrooms and started asking some questions. Maybe it was necessary. Maybe it was necessary, you know, for, you know, the climatological pressures there when we came down out of the rainforest, started experimenting with new food sources and shit. We had to have extra brain power to survive, dude, because we got this, you know, fleshy, soft body that's just waiting to get impaled by a fucking, you know, herd animal or clawed up by a fucking big cat. Genetically modified monkeys, says Archer. You think aliens came down and tweaked with the DNA there? Ancient alien theorists believe. You ever watch that shit on the History Channel? That's how much they've, you know, wiped clean the actual history. It's like the History Channel is now like they don't teach you anything about, you know, all the scientific advancements that were created by Western civilization. Like that's all in the past. If we're talking about, you know, Western civilization and history, I mean, we got to talk about the Nazis or we got to talk about ancient aliens creating humanity. And how Hillary Clinton is a reptilian and Bill Clinton fucks salamanders. Archer says, of course we would do it too if the roles were reversed. Interesting. Yeah, we probably would tamper with a lower species if we found them on another planet. We would definitely, you know, try some regime change. It's a microcosm of the Middle East. It's what the United States tries to do in the Middle East. We're like, no, you guys don't really know what you're doing. Let's we're gonna fund and arm ISIS to topple your government there in Syria. And Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton, that wasn't treason or anything. They were just experimenting. Whoops. So yeah, I mean, it does extrapolate. If we found some lower organisms on another planet, we would probably try fucking around with them. For sure. Bill Clinton fucks salamanders. You guys didn't know this? Bill Clinton's in that salamander pussy, bruh. Insensitive motherfucker. His channel name is directed at fag rags that cry about everything. Well, that's important. Absolutely, dude. I mean, it's a mystery where human consciousness comes from. I mean, but I think it's kind of a cop out to just say, you know, aliens or God or like. I think the only intellectually honest position is who the fuck knows, you know. And it's interesting. Oh, we got a gnat floating around here. I'm gonna swat that motherfucker. He's coming around because of the wine, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, I almost got him. What up, Kid White? Welcome to the stream. He says he doesn't believe in aliens, but I do believe in demonic forces. Devils are... Yeah. You don't have to believe in God to believe in evil. Evil definitely exists. That's where people get it fucked up. Anytime somebody starts talking about evil, they label them like a fucking, you know, uh, religious nutter, and like, oh, you have to, watch out. He's a Jesus freak. It's like, no, you don't have to. You can simultaneously believe that Jesus wasn't a zombie who walked on water, and that there are literally evil people in the world. Because if you're willingly, uh, you know, enforcing moral rules on other people while you're murdering people and while you're thieving from people, you're evil, Hillary Clinton. All right, you heard me. I'm not scared of the Clinton body count, dude. Come and get it. Come and get it, Hillary. You don't want it. I went to the gym 2 out of the last 4 days, Hillary. I'm ready, baby. I don't have the money right now to be, exercising my Second Amendment rights here in California. But I got the guns attached to the biceps there, baby. Let's go. Bring your best hitters. Yeah. Better to leave it a mystery than be wrong. I leave that up to the. I hate to say I leave it up to the experts, because I just look for the evidence, and I haven't seen evidence of the existence of a soul or of alien intervention. So, the best prevailing theory seems to be climatological pressures and just evolutionary adaptations. Like, we needed a big brain for whatever reason to survive in the environment that, the common ancestor we have with them chimpanzees there. For some reason we needed this big goddamn brain. What do I think about the Rothschilds? I think they seem pretty creepy. I watched that, the probably the most popular Rothschild documentary on the internet a while back, and I don't think there's necessarily anything particularly evil about the Rothschilds. I just think they're one part of the evil banking wing that participates in fractional reserve banking and setting up central banks to bankrupt nations and play them off against each other and start wars and finance both sides of them. And it just happened to be the Rothschild family. I don't think there's necessarily anything nefarious about the Jews in general, but they are a little sneaky. All right, I'll give them that. Ugh, give us that gold. Something a little sneaky about the Jews, but I respect the high IQ. All right, I got to give respect where respect is due. The high IQ, motherfucker. I will definitely, once I get some money, I will be paying a Jewish accountant, and I will have a Jewish lawyer. All right, because I pay my respects to the expertise there. So if anybody's going to take over the banking system, it would be them. They got the IQ advantage, baby. And I wanted to throw this out there for anybody that's near California, just as an aside, and we can get back to this whole soul consciousness, abortion, whatever, morality debate and shit. But I wanted to throw this out. I've been thinking about like trying to set up some a comedy show somewhere outside of LA. So I know Archer is in Arizona. I was gonna ask Archer specifically because I know where he's at. If you know any like bars or like dive bars or any like local spots that might be interested in doing a comedy show. Because me and a couple of my homies were talking about outside the fourth wall the other night. We were talking about how we need to, build up our own audience and start doing our own shows. And, I'm trying to get in contact with all these places in Los Angeles are just locked down with it's hard to set up your own operation here in Los Angeles. Everything's already locked up, and it's hard to get people to come out. But I just want to do some comedy for some regular fucking people. I just want to get out there, and get away from the social justice lunatics and the fucking oversensitive, self-hating, pathetic white people here in Los Angeles. Get to some real motherfuckers. Don't drink much, but there's a few clubs on the Indian reservation. Oh, dude, I would love to do it. I'd love to do a show on the Indian reservation. That'd be fitting. I'm from Ponca City, Oklahoma, so I was born in the Indian lands there. That the evil John Smiths of my ancestry conquered. I'll be glad to break down to them, how it wasn't particularly a genocide. It was all a big misunderstanding. There was, some germs that passed from the Europeans to the natives, and it was all very unfortunate. And it's very unfortunate that the fire water did not, our alcohol did not cooperate with their genetics, and it's also so sad. Thanks, Kashave. I think I own the debate too. I do feel like I scared a lot of the females in attendance. For those who didn't hear me earlier, I did a debate on libertarianism with a leftist out here in LA, and you can look it up at Fourth Wall TV, all one word, and that's the open mic I go to all the time, and they have shows there and shit, and they have this political talk show that I've been on a couple times, and every time I take over the room because I have to, and you got to show them what's what, ladies and gentlemen, because you can't let the leftists set the debate on questioning your morality because you don't want to take care of the people that the government is taking care of through your tax money, and it's just, how dare you? You're so selfish. You don't want to contribute into the system, and you're benefiting from the roads, and la 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 la. Like, there's never been a politician who's been out jackhammering the roads, ladies and gentlemen. It's they're getting fucked over too by the system, and these people have this infantile mindset that things should just be provided to them for free. Like, they think about me as like a selfish narcissist, and it's like total projection. Like, it's the ultimate height of narcissism to think that you're owed something by the government, that you have all these rights, and meanwhile they're stealing all your money, but you have all these expectations for the free shit they're supposed to give you. Nonsense. What's up, Bart Simpson? You dead on with that. Libertarian, leave me the fuck alone. Enemy of the state. Kay Burgess is an enemy of the state, ladies and gentlemen. Put him on the poster. Oh yeah, when we start talking too fast, they think we're freaks. Like, sometimes you gotta give them that motor mouth, because they hear my accent and they automatically underestimate me. Oh, he's from the middle of the country. He's a redneck right winger. He doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. And I just got to hit him with that IQ, baby. I got to hit you with the IQ every now and then, and just let you know. Archer says, last time I was in Hollywood, everyone thought I was Eminem. Almost got mobbed. I dove into a pizza place to get away. That's hilarious. The dude I came out here and stayed on his couch, Kevin Pollard, you've seen him on the podcast before and in the sketches and shit. Everybody calls him Eminem and B Rabbit and shit, because he wears the ski caps and he's all fucking hood rich and shit. But yeah, I mean, if anybody is like California adjacent, like, I'm looking for venues that like we can go and set up a little show at and get some shit going. Because out here, I mean, with my political persuasions, and probably not going to appeal to any of the traditional channels of like manager or like getting booked as a regular at any of these big clubs. It's like I'm pretty much just hacking it out at these mics, and getting better at my craft and shit, and impressing the regulars at the clubs I go to, and looking for opportunities that way. Roll into Nevada might be an idea. I mean, I'm just proposing this as an open thing. Like, if anybody has any ideas, definitely hit me up at Instagram at Nick Jordan himself, or on Twitter at I am Nick Jordan. Send me a little DM there. We can get something cooking. I just think it'd be fun to just go, work out a road gig and talk to a bar owner or a club owner or some shit, and just get some shit popping, because we got a lot of funny people here in Los Angeles at the mic scene that I go to, and I'll do a little looking around for myself and try to scout out some locations, but I just want to get some real audiences and some real people instead of just doing all this shit for comics, because it's like, even if that laughs are just amplified like tenfold. If you just got a room full of jaded comics, half of them are on their phone, like, and I'm getting good laughs with them. And it's like, if I had a real audience that was more ideologically on my side to begin with, like, man, we could have some fun. I do start turning red while I drink. That's the beauty of Caucasianism, all right? Outrageism. He gets outraged, he gets heated, all right, ladies and gentlemen? He's sipping on the Cabernet Sauvignon, all right? He's a distinguished gentleman, distinguished outraged chancellor gentleman, with that steely-eyed look, dude. I give you that Clint Eastwood, that fucking thousand-yard cigar stare. Yeah, might want to gather an inner circle of a few comics and hit the road. Yeah, there's definitely some dudes that are willing. It's just a matter of figuring out what we're gonna do when we go, and getting something set up in advance, because we don't want to go somewhere and just end up fucking stranded on a couch and shit. But yeah, it's funny, man. This is like, people assume so much shit about the what I think and everything, like, and then I really break down the philosophy to them, and like their eyes get wide, and it's like, once their presumptions are shattered, and it's like, oh, he's not a religious redneck. Does not compute. Oh, and so it was just fun, talking to that leftist dude. And off stage, we smoked a bowl of weed, and we had a much more interesting conversation than we had on the show there. And I just broke it down to him. I was like, man, you're an atheist that worships the government. That's what you are, dude. And you think that, somehow these people that are thieving your money through taxes are going to represent you, and that somehow, makes you a moral person, or that, like, you have the right idea of what needs to go on in society. And it's like, this is the channels we need to get it accomplished through the government, and we elect our esteemed officials here. And I know they're stealing my money, but his argument was like, I was like, oh, taxation is theft. How do you justify that? And his argument was like, oh, you're talking about like this hypothetical situation, like if a mugger came up to you and was like, yeah, I'm stealing your money, but I'm gonna go build some roads for you to drive on, and I'm gonna filter your water, and I'm gonna do all this shit for you. And I'm like, yeah, it wouldn't change it at all. The mugger's still stealing my fucking money. Because it's like the fundamental assumption is you don't know how to spend your money. We're gonna let the bureaucrats do that for you. Um, you don't know how to do it. It's just that like condescending pat on the head of like, you know, you wouldn't even know what to do with your own resources if you had the chance. It's just precious. You think you have a choice. It's just like fundamentally, I think these people are determinists. Like, number one, they have some level of self-hate. Number two, they are usually lower IQ. That wasn't the case with this guy, but I think they're determinists. Because they don't see a fundamental difference in voluntarism and involuntary situations. Like, unless you believe in free will, you don't see that distinction that like it's involuntary that you have to pay your taxes. It's like, why wouldn't I pay my taxes? I want to be a good citizen. I want to be a good citizen. It's like, I guess you think you're a robot, sir. Are you a robot that has no free will? Are you trying to convince me that I don't have any free will? Are you trying to get me to change my mind that I don't have any free will? Because that's equally as precious, and I can be just as condescending back to you, Mr. Free Will Argumentarian. Oh yeah, Steven Crowder. I mean, he's big time, dude. I don't know if he'll have any time with me. I was trying to, Owen Benjamin said he wanted to come on some of his fans' channels, and I reached out to his little moderator there in the emails and shit, and they said they were going to get back to me, but they haven't. I guess they're just busy doing their own thing. I don't blame them. Got to build my own operation. Yeah, the change my mind shit was just such a brilliant idea that Steven Crowder had, to just like go straight on the college campuses, get a permit, and set it up. Change my mind, because that's some of the best videos on YouTube. Kay Burgess says there are two laws, aren't there? The one made by people, like the Bill of Rights, and one the jungle, natural selection, the laws of business. I think the ones relevant to morality are the ones that humans create, because like obviously there are fundamental laws of physics and the universe. You got to drink water, you got to eat food, you got to breathe. These are these are laws you got to abide by. Otherwise, you're not going to do too well. I mean, you could try to appease Al Gore by limiting your carbon dioxide emissions and holding your breath, but probably not going to last that long. I would encourage anyone who wants to try that strategy to upload it to YouTube and demonstrate your progressivism by limiting your CO2 and holding your breath for Al Gore for as long as you possibly can, and improving the environment by having one less consuming organism on the planet there. Just die, and it'll help the environment, because we're overpopulated. But in the realms of morality, there just has to be an agreed upon set of rules based on logic and empiricism. Everybody agrees that assault, rape, murder, and theft are wrong. And they logically work out when you universalize them, because none of those rules can be preferred. This is a Stefan Molyneux's secular morality called universally preferable behavior, and it's fucking the most brilliant thing I've ever seen. And it's so simple, and it's simple and elegant, and it's everything a moral system needs to be. It doesn't get a lot of play just because it's super abstract and philosophical, but I mean, he argues that it can't be universally preferable to allow theft. Theft cannot be universally preferable, because then thieves would have to be okay with having their own shit stolen. And so you wouldn't go through the process of stealing people's shit if you just like couldn't protest if other people came and stole the shit you just stole. So it's like, self-defeating. And then, if rape can't be universally preferable, because if you prefer having intercourse, not rape. Unless, you're Louis C.K. and then jerking off in front of people even though you ask them, well, Twitter considers that rape. And you should never be able to do a comedy show ever again, you dirty Jew. All right? You dirty Mexican Jew. You dirty, hilarious Mexican Jew. How dare you? We had no idea that you liked jerking off. I mean, we watched all your stand-up specials, but it was just mystifying that you were some kind of freak. I fucking loved Louis C.K. Him and he is a little leftist. I do prefer Bill Burr, but I think Bill Burr and Louis C.K. are, the top shelf comics in the world. Chappelle right under them, but Chappelle is like, he's a little too lefty for me as well. I'm hoping to get the next, politically incorrect renaissance in comedy started. And, I'm trying to be the next Dice Clay. We're going to sell out some arenas, Outragians. All right, I'm going to have a whole fucking arena full of Outragians. We're going to get Outragistan started, baby. We're going to start that libertarian, federal outrage commune. And, we're going to have to section off, an island, all right? Where we can have no taxes, pure freedom, and lots of women with big asses and tattoos, okay? That's what I want, and it shall be done. Through the force of will, ladies and gentlemen, because we're not determinists, we can determine the future for our own lives. But I feel like that wave is coming. Like there's a lot of politically correct exhaustion, because it's an exhausting existence to be like, that's offensive and that's offensive and there's a new fucking thing to be pissed off about every day. It's such a, and they hate themselves, and it's a miserable existence. So it's, the wave of rationality is coming, ladies and gentlemen. A lot of people think it's going to devolve into civil war or economic collapse. I think it's more going to be a steady, dying out of PC social justice warrior culture, and then a rise of the satire and the comedy and the making fun of all that bullshit that people used to believe. And, trying to be the new Dice Man, baby. I need to come up with some poems. Hickory dickory dock. The transgender cut off his cock, and everybody called it good. I never thought they would. Hey! Oh! I'm not fucking them, no, right? Mark Zuckerberg loves the women with the big asses. Dude, he's on that cyber big ass. You get on that fucking tech giant booty. That probably sounded random for those who were looking at the chat, but there's a guy actually named Mark Zuckerberg who said he likes big women with big asses. He's on that tech giant booty, son. Oh, Mark! What are the odds that Mark Zuckerberg actually has a robot fuck doll? I don't think that guy's getting laid. No matter how much money he has, I don't think any living, breathing woman would willingly fuck him. Even the hookers he tries to pay off are like, can't we just talk? Or you're really smart, but it's just not happening down there, Mark. Oh, Mark. You're in my tech giant friend zone. It's okay. Oh yeah, Stormy Daniels would do it for the headlines. After desperately trying to get anyone to care that she fucked Donald Trump for years now. No one gives a fuck, so she's going to have to suck Mark Zuckerberg's dick to get back in the tabloids. Can you believe it? It's the first dick sucking Mark Zuckerberg's ever had. Yeah, any real woman requires a pulse. Yeah, Mark Zuckerberg might be a robot himself, so it would only make sense he would have a robot fuck doll. You know? That's what determinists like. Determinists like robot fuck dolls because they're not into free will. They're not into, personal choice. And so they're generally not into personal choice because no women make the personal choice to want to fuck them. So that leads to determinism. Has Sam Harris ever gotten laid? I think he just meditates in the woods and tries to suck his own dick. And, he has he's had a couple of close encounters where he may have gotten laid, but then he started, going off about how stupid Donald Trump is. And she was just like, oh, you can't shut up about the orange man, can you? You're just, Donald Trump's living rent-free in that empty Zen Buddhist brain of yours, isn't he, Sam? He's such a liar. Like Obama didn't lie about funding ISIS in Syria and Libya and toppling those regimes, and he didn't lie about the real reason he was bailing out the big banks is they actually financed my campaign, and I wanted kickbacks and banker speeches after I got out of office, baby. Those are actually significant lies. Trump exaggerating his crowd size at the inauguration. Trump exaggerating how good the economy is, like his hyperbole, those are evil lies. Oh, God, we got to be careful. He's a demagogue tyrant. Such a fucking idiot. Pseudo-intellectual, intellectual dork web. It's the pseudo-intellectual dork web. Oh, we're here to tell you how bad Donald Trump is. And not give you any moral principles to live by, or any, any rational thought whatsoever. We just meditate and not get laid. That's the intellectual dork web. A bunch of dorks and Joe Rogan, who's 4'3". Goddamn, Owen Benjamin had the most hilarious riff about how short Joe Rogan was on his latest stream. He was talking about him riding squirrels in the forest with his friends to go and find mushrooms. And oh. Yeah, Trump has pro wrestling hyperbole. He's not being intentionally deceptive to try and pass it off as he's saying is going to do one thing and does the complete opposite, like Obama, or somebody who's actually controlled by the deep state or is actually a fake candidate. No, it's Trump just plays his own character up and exaggerates how bad the other side is, but it's all based on fundamental kernels of truth. It's not like some fundamental deception where he's trying to intentionally mislead you. No, it's he just points out what's true and then riffs on it about how unbelievably amazing my administration has been. Minority unemployment is down. It's record. We're smashing records. The economy is it's magnificent. You've never seen an economy like this. No one can match my economy. No one can make Stormy Daniels come as many times as I did. I made her come a river. She came the Mississippi River when I had sex with Stormy Daniels, and she wants to make it a big deal like I'm some kind of bad guy when she came the entire Mississippi River when the Trumpster went inside of her, okay? That's what happens when the Trumpster unleashes the full brunt of Western civilization through his penis. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, Trump's penis is the best penis. That's the type of lying that Trump does. And like Joe Rogan sits up there and he's like, what's the Steele dossier? When he's talking to Nick DiPaolo and he brings it up how, Hillary Clinton paid this Christopher Steele guy, this fucking fake MI6 intelligence officer guy. I don't know if he's actually MI6. So he's British intelligence, right? She paid him off to write up this fake dossier about how Trump gets pissed on by Russian hookers and then used it as an excuse to get a FISA warrant to spy on the Trump campaign. It's like Trump, and they made a big deal about like Donald Trump's such an idiot because he called it wiretapping, and they didn't literally tap his phones. And so, it's a non-story here. Okay, well, the real story is Roger Stone is, needs to be sent to Guantanamo Bay because he talked to Julian Assange, who's a known Russian agent, despite, his 100% legitimacy and everything he's reported his entire career. He's an agent of Putin, and Roger Stone, we had to drive a tank up to Roger Stone's house at 3 a.m. and drag him out of bed, because a 70-year-old man like Roger Stone is just so goddamn dangerous. Trump is misleading, but he always bases it on truth. Like when he said Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton are the founders of ISIS, it's an absurd statement, but it's based on truth. It's based on the fact that Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama committed literal treason by funding and arming ISIS, that they called the rebels in Syria and Libya, in order to topple those regimes, because they weren't working with the central banks and they weren't on par with the military-industrial complex plan in the Middle East. And so they weren't on board. They wanted to be independent and build up their own countries. And so they weren't with the agenda. And so they made up this entire fucking story about, Saddam gassing it. Not Saddam, fucking, what's his name? Assad gassing his own people. And Gaddafi being this terrible dictator. And it's like, they were just trying to be independent and build up their own countries. Like, Christians live peacefully in Syria under Assad, and it's like, he's supposed to be this horrible dictator. And, it's all military-industrial complex propaganda. And, Trump called him out on it. Hillary and Obama, founders of ISIS. It's just like, he has this thing for branding something and making it, like, extra marketable. It's marketing is what he's doing. He's marketing and branding at the same time he's pointing out fundamental truths. So, I mean, if you look at it technically on paper, it's a lie, all right? But it's not false. You know what I'm saying? God, I hope Hillary runs again, because I got a lot of Hillary Clinton stand-up material that I haven't done in a while, and I really hope, I can go at her again, because it's just so fun. I had this whole bit about, the weekend at Hillary's, where they were wheeling her out, like death warmed over at the fucking 9/11 memorial when she passes out. And they just prop her up and wheel her out. Your next president, and they have somebody slap the shit out of her and wake her up. Time to give a speech. You know, wasn't that hilarious when Hillary couldn't get through one speech near the end of the campaign? She was just hacking and coughing and shit like a fucking maniac. Yeah, yeah. He's a brander. He's gonna brand that ass, baby. Like Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Yeah, she's on the last legs, it seems like. That's what I've heard at podcasts, and I saw a Drudge Report link. That's Trump may have the possibility of appointing 3 Supreme Court justices, ladies and gentlemen. Got to give him credit for that. I wonder if they're going to accuse the next one of rape. Participated in the gang rape with Kavanaugh. Held Kavanaugh's dick as he gang raped. He was a gang rape apologist. Gang rape apologist pedophile. Because Trump appointed him. And drank beer. Thankfully, you know, Saturday Night Live with their hard-hitting, you know, sharp-pointed political comedy nowadays, really speaking truth to power there. Because, you know, if there's ever been evidence of pure evil, it's consumption of alcohol, ladies and gentlemen. Which, I don't know why they call Trump evil. Apparently he's never touched a drop. You know, the old narrative crumbling in their hands, ladies and gentlemen. The old narrative. Archer says, Bernie's like my old dog, too old to run, too stupid to know it, and wonders why he face plants when he's trying to keep up with pups. Yeah, I hope Bernie runs again just to see more Black Lives Matter protesters take over his rally and just see him cower down to these like teenage girls because he's scared to be called racist. Well, I support their movement. Let me try to get my Bernie. I support their movement. All right, then I don't want to be racist. Okay, I'm a nice little friendly Jew. All right, just elect me, and we're gonna tax the super rich. All right, and they're not gonna leave the country when I'm elected because you know they're not that smart. Okay, you don't have to be smart to be rich. You just be like me and pretend to be smart and never have a job in your life. And you get into politics, and then you could take smart people's money. Bernie, they're all leaving the country, and turns out the taxes are going to hit the middle class. Oh shit! I don't know. I didn't predict that. It's okay. I still got my mansion. An Italian with lung cancer, absolutely. We're talking about Burgess. We're talking about the next Supreme Court nominee that Trump is going to make when Ruth Bader Ginsburg kicks the bucket and all of the you know, pedophile gang rape allegations that are incoming. He says also, have you noticed the Me Too thing only caught up to leftists like Weinstein and Spacey? Yeah, and Bill Cosby. It's these fake moralizing people, you know. These people that are just like virtue signaling constantly and taking pictures with Hillary Clinton and telling comics they can't say fuck on stage, and Kevin Spacey plays a super corrupt Republican politician on, you know, the controlled opposition, House of Cards. I never even watched that, but like just looking at his character, like he's obviously meant to play up the super corrupt guy with a southern accent. They couldn't make him a left winger because that would just be too on the nose for Mr. Obama there. But yeah, Kevin Spacey, he, I mean, you look at his childhood and it's not surprising that he turned out like that. I mean, and a lot of really talented people have super fucked up childhoods like that. I mean, not that it's necessarily correlation equals causation, but I mean, he's definitely a fucking talented actor, but he's a fucking sicko, dude. He's a fucking sicko. And his dad was a sicko. Didn't fall far from the tree. Yeah, I don't know what the fuck the left is gonna do. They literally have no candidate to run against Trump. And it's like, we're a year away. And it's like they have fucking zero. They have Hillary Clinton, Pocahontas, Joe Biden, Creepy Joe. I think we should step that up. Pedo Joe. Because it's more than creepy. That video of him sniffing on the little girls and feeling them up in front of their parents and shit for the photo ops. It's like, he's Pedo Joe. Pedo Joe. Is it pedo or pedo? Oh, I didn't see Prison Break. The reason why Hillary lost. I don't watch many shows, ladies and gentlemen. I recently tried to watch some Netflix comedy and threw up in my mouth and didn't laugh once. Everybody, adhering to the narrative there on Netflix, falling straight in line, okay, with the leftist social controllers. We can't poke any of the sacred cows anymore. We know that's what comedy used to be. We know that's what comedy used to be all about. Is saying taboo things but it's like the things that used to be taboo just aren't anymore. Like, nobody gives a fuck if you say fuck. Nobody cares if you talk about your dick on stage. Like, it's not provocative anymore. It's kind of just gross at this point to just have bits about shitting yourself or farting or your dick or fucked up sex acts. It's like, it's all been done. It's all been done to death. It's just like there's no taboo element to it, like the gratuitous dick jokes, and it's just gay at this point. Like, you're not poking any taboos. Like, there's no like overwhelming religious right that's trying to censor that stuff that like they used to. Now the censors are telling you can't make fun of anybody who's not white. That's the taboo. Like, anybody who's not white, you can, off limits. Don't punch down in your comedy, okay? Because whites are at the tippy top and we're not racist. Whites are above everybody else, and everybody else is, supplicating, and they're subservient to whites, okay? So it's punching down if you make fun of them, okay? But we're not racist. The left in 2019. Everybody is below white people, so you can't make fun of them or you're a bigot. Yeah, comedians could cross the line. Now no one can cross the line. Now, and there is that one fat blonde's pussy. Oh, you talking about Amy Schumer? Yeah, she's the disgusting hippo of them all, dude. but that's why I feel a big wave of anti-political correctness coming, because the public is just so fucking hungry for it. It's the big media companies are not going to be able to hold that wave back, because there's just such a demand for politically incorrect comedy that they're not going to be able to sell the horse shit anymore, because people are just not going to buy it. They're going to watch this podcast instead, and they're going to be laughing their balls off, and and they're going to come to my shows, and they're going to come to Owen Benjamin shows, they're going to come to Dave Smith shows, okay? Because we actually talk about the truth, and we actually don't give a fuck about anybody who gets their feelings hurt over a joke. All right, one more spot of wine, ladies and gentlemen. This has been fun as fuck. One more spot of wine now. A spot of wine in this accent for the people of Britain. Hopefully you get Brexit passed and don't pay any attention to Hollywood movies trying to make Nigel Farage look like an idiot. That's what they try to do, because they do not want the British people to have independence. They want the EU to rule over them and control their every move. How delectable. Oh yeah, there's always a target of a joke, but it's like, it's that the whole point is it's not really targeting them. It's like usually taking dark subject matter and taking the power away from it, and being able to create some distance between it and letting people laugh at it, and to show us all that it's not the end of the world. And to not take ourselves so goddamn seriously. That's another reason why the left won't sustain, is because they don't have a sense of humor. They don't have any fucking joy in their life. It's like everything is so dour and serious, and these oppressed people, everything is a goddamn humanitarian infomercial. It's like people are sick of that horse shit. Please donate now to the cause of the oppressed women and minorities. These evil white people. Did you see that evil white kid with his MAGA hat? He smiled. Oh my God, that poor Native American gentleman. He was a Vietnam veteran. Oh wait, he wasn't? He lied? Well, that's okay. That white kid was still evil. Oh wait, the Native American went up to him. Oh well. He should have ran away. Why was he blocking his way? That evil little Wonder Bread fuck. Victim of the year. The lying fake Native American veteran. The refrigerator repairman. That's what he was. Not quite on the infantry there. Not quite, storming the shores of Normandy. He's repairing that ice cube maker, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. Yeah, they might as well put it in a laugh track on shows like Colbert, because it's just like, they're not even reacting to how funny the joke is. It's just like, how accurate is it toward adhering to the leftist narrative, adhering to hating Trump? If it's in that channel, we will laugh at it with the applause sign, with the aid of the applause sign. Yeah. Burgess says, under the evil lair located underneath Brussels, they conspire. Let's take all the money away from the UK. No one will ever be able to stop us. I love the haughty British EU tyrant. No one will stop us. Archer says, what do you call a kindergartner with no friends? A Sandy Hook survivor. Oh! Well, if you look at the evidence, Sandy Hook never happened. And, crisis actors, Anderson Cooper, his nose clearly disappears on the green screen. And, Dr. Steve Pachinik, he told me that none of them kids died. And I don't know, ladies and gentlemen, but it has all the makings of a psyop. Okay, it's a false flag. All the telltale signs are there, and I sure hope I don't get banned off of YouTube for this. He shouldn't have got banned off of YouTube, dude. That's not hateful. It's, if anything, it's, you know, dumb speculation. These people want your souls. I'm here to fight for the Republic. The sleeping giant is awake, ladies and gentlemen. We will strike back for the Republic. Alex Jones is a fucking legend. That's why I got an InfoWars bumper sticker on the back of my car, dude. Unfortunately, I can't even tolerate listening to his radio show anymore because now the commercials aren't skippable. And so now I got to listen to all of the goddamn horrific ad campaigns he's got running. It's like the show is mostly commercials if you listen to the thing fully through. But it does suck that they banned him because it's such a dangerous precedent they set that, you know, they can just decide what hate is. And, you know, it's a dangerous fucking precedent because it's just totally subjective. They decide what hate is. They decide if you get a platform or not. And, you know, that's how it goes, ladies and gentlemen, when you're in a banana republic. They, in this context, would be YouTube, David Musgrove. YouTube, okay? The Israelite controllers there. The guy with the glasses. I don't know the guy with the glasses. On InfoWars? Oh, Gavin McInnes. I love Gavin McInnes. David Musgrove says YouTube is a private company, but they also have a terms of service that is troubling in its subjectivity. Because they can selectively enforce their terms of service to decide what is hate and what is not. And thus far, they seem to only target conservative voices and libertarian voices. And Alex Jones is a libertarian with a massive audience who essentially played a key role in getting Trump elected and exposing the evil that was Hillary Clinton. And so they can't have that. And so they were looking for an excuse to ban him ever since that happened. And so they don't have any objective terms of what constitutes hate in their terms of service, and so they can just selectively enforce it at a whim, you know, to anybody they don't like. This is about a specific situation. I mean, he was Well, actually, they did. Everybody says it's about his comments on the Sandy Hook thing and saying that it may have been a false flag or it may have been staged or whatever. Um, Everybody says it's in reference to that, but the actual community guideline strike that got Alex Jones banned was just for general hate speech. That's the only thing they provided. That's the only thing they said to get him to ban him. Hate speech. So the term hate is the problem there because they don't define what is hateful. He didn't call for the fucking genocide of any ethnicity. He didn't, threaten violence against anybody. He was theorizing to what degree the official narrative at Sandy Hook was false. It's literally all he was doing. He did go, in a couple instances, he did go the extra step further and say that he felt that some elements of it were staged, which is just, he has no definitive proof for that, which is why he backed off of it once people pressed him on it. But that was months and months and months before he was actually banned. He was actually banned for hate speech. They didn't define it. They don't feel the need to define it. They just, hate speech. Am I going to ends to justify Alex Jones? Alex Jones has been a strong voice for small government and libertarianism, and he has a massive fucking audience, and he was banned unjustifiably. There was no justifiable reason. Yeah, you can say he's a fucking joke, but that's not an argument. Alex Jones, he's exposed the Federal Reserve to a huge audience. He's exposed the fake Federal Reserve system, the fractional reserve banking system. He exposed the fraud that was Obama and how bad the bailouts of the banks were. And yeah, I like Sargon of Akkad as well. Was Sargon banned? I don't even know about Sargon being banned. But Alex Jones was an important voice for freedom in small government. And despite his, peripheral wacky ideas, that's his central position is for freedom and constitutional small government. So fundamentally, he's a libertarian. You can make fun of him for the gay frogs, and Alex Jones is not a troll, dude. He's not. He definitely believes what he's saying. You can say, you can say whatever you want about Alex Jones, but he believes what he's saying. Again, you're not making arguments. You just say he's a stupid internet troll. That's not an argument. I just made an argument that Alex Jones is one of the biggest libertarian voices on the internet, and you're just saying he's a stupid internet troll. No, he's had a consistent show for 20 plus years talking about the evils of the government and to not trust the deep state and the false flags that are on record. And he's talked about Operation Northwoods. He's talked about the Gulf of Tonkin. He's talking about confirmed conspiracies. And, he snuck in and exposed Bohemian Grove, dude. A bunch of fucking creepy politicians getting together in robes and worshiping an owl god. He literally went in there and caught it on camera. He exposed the Middle Eastern hoodwink where that we were funding the rebels in the Middle East and they turned out to be Al Qaeda and ISIS. He called that almost a year before they had to admit it in the mainstream media. Alex Jones is legit, dude. I mean, you can point out little things here and there where he's been, hyperbolic and he's, talked about things that haven't come true and theorized wildly and shit, but his fundamental philosophical underpinning is legit. He's a libertarian that wants a small government and capitalism, and he understands what made the country so prosperous. Yeah, that's right. Only, and he corrects himself, and he's honest about when he gets shit wrong. I mean, if you think that Alex Jones is some joke or some internet troll, you're falling for the propaganda. You're falling for the hit pieces they put out on him in the mainstream media. He's putting his life on the line, dude. You saw how they came at Roger Stone, okay? Alex Jones knows what's at stake, and he doesn't give a fuck. He's still broadcasting 3 hours every goddamn weekday and going hard in the paint. And I respect that dude to the end of fucking time. Fuck any haters. Fuck the haters of Alex Jones, dude. Alex Jones is a goddamn patriot. Alex Jones knows the value of freedom and small government. That's all that matters to me. And he's definitely well educated on government corruption. And again, David Musgrove he's probably already left, but it's just ad hominem attacks. You're not giving me any counter arguments, buddy. Bucko. Clean your room, bucko. All right? Why don't you read 12 Rules for Life for Jordan Peterson? You clean your goddamn room, bucko. You think Alex Jones is a joke? Clean your goddamn room, bucko. How about you get some super male vitality? Okay? Some super silver toothpaste. Alright? You probably got some fucked up teeth. One more spot of wine, goddammit. This is so fun. What's up, Meshuggah Bear? Now, I do understand the criticisms of Jordan Peterson, but I also understand the values of Jordan Peterson. I myself am an atheist, so I don't agree with Owen Benjamin's criticisms of Jordan Peterson, where he is supposedly mealy-mouthed when it comes to religion, and he doesn't commit to, the Jesus story being true. The Jesus story isn't true. Okay, he wasn't. He was probably a great man. He is probably a real historical figure, probably a great man. He was not a zombie. He did not walk on water. Okay, so taking the Bible stories as an allegory is no crime in my book. And Jordan Peterson has spoken a lot of important truth about exposing the SJW left, and he's stood his ground, and he's embarrassed some mainstream media idiots that have tried to smear him as some right-wing bigot, and he's been an important voice against the hysterical left. Yeah, Levi, exactly. Jordan Peterson's never claimed to be of the traditional religious ilk, and I don't blame him one bit, because I'm not either, because the only rational position is atheism. When you look at it logically, the biblical God cannot logically exist. You cannot be omniscient and omnipotent at the same time. I've talked about this before, but just quick example. You can't be omniscient and omnipotent at the same time. If there's a train going down the tracks, and God knows he has the foresight that the train is going to go off the tracks. If he chooses to intervene, which if God doesn't intervene, then prayer doesn't matter and miracles aren't real. If God chooses to intervene in reality and stop the train from going off the tracks, well, then he relinquishes his ability to see into the future as he did before. He doesn't have his all-knowing capacity because he changed what the future was going to be, and therefore invalidating his previous knowledge of what was going to happen. So the biblical God is an inherent contradiction, and there's literally no evidence for it. So there's no rational reason to believe in it. So I don't blame Jordan Peterson for that one bit. I think he's been overall super positive in the culture war against the insane left-wingers. Now, would I pay $300 to shake his clammy hand and see him give a talk and shake his clammy hand? No. No. I respect his contributions. Whatever he's doing now with with CAA and, getting involved in, weird Hollywood Jews. I don't know what's going on there. I'm skeptical. All right. But I've yet to see any true ideological deviation from Jordan Peterson. As far as I know, he's still a good dude and a good voice for rationality there. Yeah, that's the biggest flaw. Peterson didn't stand up for Kavanaugh. I agree. That was fucking horrible. Because it's basic common sense. It's basic innocent until proven guilty. And it didn't make any sense. After standing up to all these left-wing mobs, he caves to one that's not even focused on him. I don't know what ideological shit in the back of his brain led to that, saying Kavanaugh should step down. Yeah, I will agree with that. That was absolutely reprehensible. And I think he did apologize for it. I don't know to the extent that he apologized for it, but that was really fucked up. Because the Kavanaugh thing was just so bare bones fucking obvious to any thinking person. Now that I think about it, that was so fucking egregious, because there's no way he didn't understand the situation. He had to be lying, right? Because there's no way he doesn't understand innocent until proven guilty. It's the people that just look at her testimony and were like, I believe her. These fucking airheads, have no comprehension of innocent until proven guilty, and the backbone of fucking Western civilization and the justice system. Her story just didn't add up at all. All the witnesses she called were totally contradicting her story. So I didn't look heavily into the Jordan Peterson apology for that. I know he wrote up a whole article about it and shit, but I didn't read it. But that was a huge mistake, if it was a mistake. But nonetheless, prior to that, still major contributions in waking up so many people to communism, socialism, the dangers of the social justice left. Super important. Can't be minimized. Jordan Peterson's huge. Yeah, we're back to the 16th century, dude. It's like the opposite of Islam. Kavanaugh needs 5 witnesses to prove he didn't gang rape. That's what happens in a matriarchy. I'm not making excuses for Islam, but there's no Islamic dudes getting thrown over the coals like Kavanaugh did. Yeah, and everyone deserves a trial, but that didn't even deserve to be televised. She had no evidence. All of her witnesses contradicted her story. Her story was self-contradictory. It's what up, Simply A? Man, we've been chatting for a while. We covered all kind of ground, baby. We're talking about Kavanaugh right now, and Jordan Peterson's foolish condemning of Mr. Kavanaugh. And I'm making the argument that Jordan Peterson, before all that, he solidified himself as a major contributor to exposing communism, exposing big government leftism, and the social justice hysterics. Just major fucking unparalleled contributions to exposing that bullshit. Because comedians can't do it, because Netflix won't have that. I'm doing my best here on the Hollywood open mic circuit. But, you know, the comics look at me, as Bill Hicks would say, like a dog who just saw a card trick. All right? Because abstractions are hard to process when they go against your confirmation bias. Yeah, I mean, Jordan Peterson has a lot of value. Don't shy away from Jordan Peterson just because of the Kavanaugh thing. He was dead wrong on that, and it's obvious, you know. But other than that, he has a lot of value. What up, Dirt Wee? Fucking 2 hours late. You early morning riser or late night stay upper. I don't know which one is which at this point, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, you have to listen back to this one. We had a lot of fun. Oh, you got some Peterson tickets? How much did you pay? Please don't tell me you paid over $100 to see that Kermit the Frog talk. Oh shit, he paid over 100. I don't blame you, man. I mean, you'll probably really fucking enjoy yourself at the speech. I mean, you know, bring a notepad. You'll probably get some value out of it. It'll be an experience. You can go up and shake his clammy lobster hand, you know, and do me a favor and ask him if he, you know, if him and what's that comic's name he goes on tour with? as Dave Rubin. Ask him if yeah. Ask him if him and Dave Rubin have been engaging in sodomy for me. So, any sodomy between you two, or is this are we just keeping this philosophical? Philosophically sodomy-tastic, ladies and gentlemen. Nick Jordan wants to know, the federal outrage chancellor, he's very curious. Oh yeah, Jordan Peterson could talk him into it, dude. Start talking about the saving his father from the belly of the whale, you know? And Rubin gets all teary-eyed. My father never accepted me. And Jordan's like, I'll accept you. Just give it a lick. Just give it a lick. Just read the first chapter of the Gulag Archipelago and then give it a lick, bucko. Clean your room and then give it a lick. We've gone off the rails, ladies and gentlemen, and there's no God to save us. All right? He cannot be omniscient and omnipotent at the same time. He's a farce. He's a square circle. But we can learn lots of lessons from the fables taught in his book. It's not either or. It's a messy shade of gray, ladies and gentlemen. Don't throw the morality out with the bathwater. Don't be a jaded, Birkenstock-wearing, long-haired, nasty atheist, okay? Be a nice, upstanding, strong-backboned, moral atheist who does not succumb to communism, all right? Or the matriarchy. He stands strong in the face of tyrants and bows to no God or no government. All right? We don't believe in anything here at the Outrage TV commune except ourselves. All right? The human the unlimited human potential that can be unlocked through the magic of the free market system if we just get this goddamn government leech off of our neck. Archer just sent me a horrific Yo Mama joke, and I'm super offended. Okay, that's not part of the matriarchal system. Okay, we don't make fun of each other's mamas. Off limits. All right. My mom doesn't go to Walmart. Okay, she can't fit through the doors. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this was a fucking fun stream. Definitely listen back on Outrage Cast on all the podcast apps and everything. I'll get this posted up. This was a fucking fun one. I'll clip some shit out, post it up on Instagram at Nick Jordan himself. Probably some clips on Facebook too. Find me Nick Jordan. I'll be in a blue shirt with a little more hair and with a microphone in my hand. That's me. Yeah, baby. Good times here on the Outrage TV live stream. Hanging out with all the beautiful bad motherfuckers out there. Rocking in the free world, trying to keep it free. And, oh, you talking about the shitty rapper? Yes, dude, that was ridiculous. Dude. Oh yeah, we could get a phone line. I might post that out. Yeah, that dude was shitting hot fire, as the kids say, out of the wrong hole. Yeah, call in would be fun, dude. We might hook up a Skype or something. I got a Skype here we could do. That would be fun. Does anybody know how to bring in other windows to the fucking YouTube stream? I don't know. DM me on Instagram, Nick Jordan himself, if you know how to. If you either got a comedy venue, either a bar in your town or whatever that needs some comedy, because I'm looking to get out of LA and do some shows, or if you know how to integrate Skype into YouTube streaming on your phone. Either one, ladies and gentlemen. Either way, I love you bad motherfuckers. It was fun to hang out. Yeah, I'd love to have you on, Archer. That'd be fucking fun. We should fucking, fundamentally, I want to come down there to Arizona and do a goddamn comedy show and have beers and shit. That'd be fun. But yeah. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, it was fun as fuck. I hope you have a beautiful, restful sleep, and